Hello and welcome back to another episode of White Album 2. We are currently playing through CODA, and a lot is happening. So, instantly with the sad music. So, we're back with Kazusa after finding her, having been in her basement, in her freezing cold basement, sitting in the dark by herself post-concert. We found her, and Haruki's just fully admitted his love for her. She's begging him to stay with her. Let's see how it turns out. Not because of her breaths or the sensation of her tears, but from a dwelling heat in my body.
だから俺はお前を今受け入れることはできないんだ。ごめんな。
それってさ、
もう喋るな。
もしかしてさ、たとえそれがほんのわずかの希望だとしても。
言うな。そんなことあってたまるか。
ごめん。
The reason I instinctively raised my voice is because she proposed a possibility that would be far too painful. She proposed the possibility of a preposterous choice. So many P's in one sentence. She proposed a possibility that defies common sense, one that would only serve to make even me delirious.
嘘。私今何言おうとしたんだ。そんな人として考えたらいけないこと。
Even Kazusa shrinks upon realizing that she had stumbled upon that forbidden, evil option. Well, it may be forbidden and evil, but it is a option. Or an option.
もういい。やめてくれ。今日はもうこれ以上何も考えたくない。
春樹。
お前は熱に浮かされてた。俺は気が動転してた。それでいいことにしてくれ。
You can't, though. You can't keep flirting with this girl and going along with the flirtatious attitudes and then be like, just kidding, like that's it, that's all I want. You have to choose one or the other. You really do. My entire body starts to tremble.
春樹。
I'm not sure if I'm the one trembling, or if it's just Kazusa's trembling that's being transmitted to me. Or it could very well be both. It's not something that I want to think about anymore. I don't want to think about anything or anyone. I don't want to make a decision yet. Well, you better hurry up.
はいはい。それじゃあお願いします。タクシー10分でこっち来るって。
I let go of her hands and she moved away. We both sat against the wall and then brought ourselves close to each other again. We don't hold each other's shoulders and we don't hold hands. Kazusa rests her head on my shoulder and continues her usual feverish breaths. But I don't hold her anywhere. I don't warm Kazusa up.
ねえ、春樹。
Our screams and lamentations are over. In the darkness illuminated by the moonlight, the room returns to the usual quiet.
もし 私の来日が日本公演なんかじゃなくて、ただ逃げてきただけだったらさ。もし私がピアノでも失敗してさ、落ちぶれて失意のまま帰国してたとしたらさ。
カズさん、
そんな私を憐れんで、お前は抱きしめてくれたかな。
That's not a fair question to ask right now.
同情でキスしてくれたかな。
Kazusa's faint murmurs are sucked in by the vast room.
ならなかったんだよ。そういうこと。ならなかったんだよ。だから考えるだけ無駄だよ。
ごめんな、春樹。
ごめん、カズさん。
Oh man. Like, it's one of the situations where it's too bad. No matter what happens, it's too bad. It was allowed to get this far, and now there's no perfect way out of it. Like Haruki said, somebody's gonna get hurt. And this time, a true silence settled between us.
怪我？
コンサートのすぐ後、階段から落ちて。
それで追加公演は？いや、まず怪我の状態だよな。
He backpedaled fast. Good for him.
右手の甲を切ってて、あと左手首を捻挫してて。まあどちらも骨には異常ないみたいですが。
両手。
As Hamada-san's face turns pale right in front of me, I have no choice but to accept whatever comes my way, all while being tormented by numerous painful thoughts.
追加公演はあと一月あるから大丈夫かな。
多分怪我は治ってるでしょうけど、ベストコンディションで演奏できるかどうかは。
I love how sometimes the expressions are in English like besto condition, which isn't really a Japanese expression at all.
そっか、そうだよな。ピアニストが練習できないなんて。
The few lies I'm telling, and the many secrets I'm keeping, weigh heavily on my heart.
それにしても、なんで今まで連絡してくれなかったんだ。
すいません。
お前を責めてなんかないって。トーマオフィスのこと言ってんだよ。緊密に連絡取り合うって約束だったのに。
それはその。
After all, who could possibly imagine the improbable truth of the matter? That it's actually all my fault that all this happened. I mean, it's not all your fault. You were the cause. But you're not the one that directly caused it. Would he even understand if I explained it to him?
迷惑かけるのが申し訳なくて、包帯が取れるまで黙っておこうと思ってたって。
その方が余計迷惑だろうが。何考えてんだよ。
申し訳ありません。
だからお前に言ってんじゃないって何度も言ってるだろう。あ、いや、つまりお前に当たってもしょうがないもんな。
Hamada-san is so sweet. He's so sweet. Haruki just wants to take a little bit of the blame.
はい。
That's why I can only lie to everyone around us right now. As usual. As for my persuasiveness and the situation around us, and my understanding of Kazusa's feelings, I remain unable to grasp them fully yet.
とにかくアンサンブルの編集長には報告しとく。向こうはまだ東間陽子と連絡取れないらしくて。
そうなんですか。
I didn't contact Yoko-san either, because I didn't know what excuse to tell her when I couldn't protect nor even reject Kazusa.
それじゃあ俺、そろそろ取材の時間ですから。
And Yoko did tell him. She was like, please reject her. Because she knew that... she knew. She's been there. I'm sure she's been there.
東間勝さの見舞いには行くのか。
ええ、夜に。
俺も顔出そうか。今後の取材のこともあるだろうし。
いえ、今はあまり他人に会いたくないそうです。
そっか。じゃあお大事にって伝えてくれ。
はい、失礼します。
今はあまり他人に会いたくないか。自分は他人じゃないって言ってるぞ、お前。
I mean, I don't really feel like that's a slip of the tongue. He knows they were former classmates. I managed to breathe a sigh of relief, but inside my heart, I still feel out of breath. No matter how many pointless apologies I made, no one could possibly have comprehended them, and the feeling of guilt within me never eased up. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, Amada-san. I didn't know. I never knew she was this lacking in professionalism. I never knew she'd become more of an amateur than ever before. I never knew she was so frail that she'd become unable to play, all because of a single guy. Well, now you know. What are you gonna do about it? The scent of spicy food fills the room. Of course, this is the third day in a row I'm eating curry, so I can't bring myself to get excited about the stimulating fragrance. So while boiling the mild curry, I start cutting some vegetables I happen to have in the fridge. The light on my rice cooker indicates that it is finished cooking. All that's left is to put it onto a plate, and the belated dinner will be finished. As I leave the movements in my hands to muscle memory, and my thoughts about the present decrease, my mind insists on recalling the memories of last night. Definitely dangerous to do while you're literally holding a knife chopping vegetables. The Toma residence after 5 years. Kazusa, sitting all alone with her arms around her knees down in the studio where we have so many memories together. Even though that place wasn't supposed to be where she belonged, that place was all she had left at the time. Compared to the world that knows and wants her, I was in shock at how confined the world she knows and wants is in comparison. She told me her true feelings for the first time since our reunion. She said that she's continued having feelings for me these past 5 years. I couldn't bring myself to accept the painful and miserable truth about her feelings, even if they were very elating to me. I already have Setsuna after all, which is why the only option for us is to break apart. We hurt each other so deeply that day that we couldn't maintain our relationship as neighbors anymore, which was already hanging on a thin thread. No, it's perhaps more accurate to say we were living together. That's why Kazusa's still in this apartment.
そろそろ起きて何か食ってくれ。いい加減、タヌキ寝入りにも限界があるだろう。
Kazusa's still in this apartment, despite everything that's happened. What a sentence. Despite everything, you've still got another girl in your apartment. She hasn't given up on being my neighbor. I guess it's better to say that I was the one who refused to let her go.
お前、昼も結局何も食ってなかったじゃないか。もう熱下がってるんだし、本当は起きれるんだろ。
And again, I'm not saying that this is wrong. Like, she's sick, she needs someone to care for her, they do love each other. The thing that's wrong is he needs to choose one and break up with the other. Because it is not right to keep lying and keep, especially after what he did with Setsuna and giving her the ring. I'm sorry, but that's just horrid. Actually, I'm not sorry at all. That's just horrid. After all, there's no way I could let her go. She had a fever. Both of her hands are injured. Not to mention the fact that I can't get in touch with Yoko-san. She would never go to the hospital by herself either. So, no matter how little sense all this makes, I have no choice but to do something right now.
いつまでもこのままってわけにもいかないだろう。食事もそうだけど、怪我の治療だって。
Even if that entails the fact that ever since I got home, I've been measuring her temperature with my hands, wiping off her sweat, and gazing intently at her face. Regardless, Kazusa has kept her eyes stubbornly closed, seemingly asleep.
口なんか聞けるわけないだろう。
カズさ。
I knew from the beginning that she was awake all along. Because I could feel Kazusa's gaze every time I turned away from her. Painfully so.
私、お前に告白したんだぞ。思いっきり振られたんだぞ。
Oh man.
振ってなんか。
Dude, Haruki, like, what do you mean you haven't rejected her? Like, it's one or the other. It literally is. You can't just keep both girls hanging like this. In complete contrast to the cries coming from the innermost depths of her heart back then, the first thing Kazusa says in over a day is little more than a vigorless murmur.
玉砕した相手に面倒見られるなんて、拷問以外の何者でもないじゃないか。
She's desperately trying to prevent any anger or sadness from being infused in her voice. But those involuntary feelings are conveyed clearly through the shaking of her voice.
私を見るな。私をそんな優しい目で見ないでくれよ、春樹。
Also, I do have to stop and let's just check
哀
out
れ
her
みなん
outfit.
かやめてくれ。
Sorry, Kazusa, I interrupted you. Her shirt here is probably my least favorite Kazusa outfit out there. It's just designed in a weird way. Like, they wanted to make her boobs look bigger by designing the shirt this way, but like, that's not what a sweater looks like. That's not what a V-neck sweater looks like. Even if you have boobs that are too big, the V wouldn't extend that far horizontally. So, that's my little rant. This shirt really bothers me.
俺に構われるのが嫌だったら、ちゃんと起きろよ。
そしたらお前はいなくなるのか。私の前から永遠に消えてなくなるのか。
お前が望むなら。
望まない。そんなの嫌だ。
And here lies the problem. They both kind of, if they could snap their fingers and the other person would be out of their life, I truly think they could. But neither of them are strong enough to actually go through with actions which would get the other out of their life. So they're just hoping the other person will do it. And now they're both at an impasse because neither of them wants to let the other go.
なら食ってくれよ。包帯変えさせてくれよ。お前の面倒見させてくれよ。
それも嫌だ。今は絶対に嫌だ。
Also, the Japanese that Kazusa is using in this scene is extremely childish.
帰ってくれ。私の部屋から出て行ってくれ。お願いだから一人にしてくれよ。
でも飯と傷の手当てと本当は体温だって測りたいし。
うるさいよお前。本当にうざいよ。勘弁してくれよ。
カズさ。
However, when she tried to stop her emotions from appearing in her voice, was only the beginning. Before long, countless painful feelings seeped into that faint voice, stabbing at me. That thing that was hiding them was Kazusa's kindness. The thing that exposed them was my inability to read the atmosphere. I returned to my room, turned off the light, and put myself under the bed sheets. But that didn't mean I could fall asleep. From what I felt from her forehead, her temperature was down. From what I can judge from treating her hands, her right hand hasn't experienced any suppuration. I don't know that word. And the sprain on her left hand doesn't seem to be too serious either. I'm still a bit nervous about her additional concert a month from now, but as far as her being able to continue playing the piano is concerned, there should be nothing to worry about. At least as far as her physical health is concerned. As I repeatedly turn and toss in bed. Turn and toss? Who says that? No, toss and turn. I feel an instinctive desire well up in me, apart from the desire to sleep.
晩飯
Come to think of it, I didn't eat anything either. I wonder when all that curry is ever going to be fully eaten. But going over to the other apartment now at 3 a.m. to fetch the saucepan would be problematic, both on a personal and a practical level. I curl up into a ball and hold my empty stomach. Then I put the sheet over my head and forcibly close my eyes. Both the curry and our discussion will have to wait until tomorrow. Her apartment wasn't closed with a chain today. She created a situation where only I can enter, since I have a key. That isn't entirely safe from a security standpoint, but right now I'm more happy that she's opened up the door to her heart a little. Yeah, and you see what happened? You see how hurt she is? You see how vulnerable she is right now? And how he's like, yay, I did it! What? You did what? It's not right.
おやすみ
It's so bad. So, good night, Kazusa. Tomorrow morning, I'll see if Curry makes a good breakfast or not. So for now, I'll make myself comfortable and let my consciousness fade. It seems I won't get to do that quite yet. Oh no. And honestly, the way they drew the curry looks disgusting. It looks absolutely rancid. It's so bad. It's been an hour since I left Kazusa's room as she was muttering in sadness. And now, before me, as I once again appear in this room, lies a pitiful scene that makes me astonished that this is even the same place.
カレーのお姫様
こんなもの部屋に置いておくからだ。
Forget curry-stained clothes. Even her hair is covered in thick curry. The pot, the plate, their contents are all on the floor. The room is filled with the smell of 3-day-old mild curry.
これしばらく匂い落ちないぞ
That's terrible. That's so bad.
こぼす前から部屋中に匂ってた。
That's fair.
どうしてこんなこと捨てようとしたのか
そんなことそんなもったいないことするわけないじゃないか。
え？
部屋中に匂っててそのせいでどんどんお腹空いてきて。
そっか
It's like the Who Wants a Krabby Patty at 3 a.m. But in this case, for both of them, it was Who Wants Curry at 3 a.m. Honestly, it's not a bad idea ever. From what I felt from her forehead, her temperature was down. So there would be nothing strange about her appetite returning to her. In fact, that would be a good thing.
だからその鍋をテーブルに持ってこうとして。
Though I would have been happier if she understood the state her hands are in.
こんなにぐるぐる巻きにしやがって。 前はいつも大丈夫大丈夫って言うけど、やってること穴だらけじゃないか。
ああ、わかったわかった。とりあえず俺が片付けておくから、カズサは風呂行って体洗って着替えて。
どうやって？
Saying that, Kazusa showed me her originally white, but now yellowed bandage with a spiteful glare. That cannot be good for recovering wounds, curry, of all things.
だからお前は穴だらけだって言うんだ。
なあ、本当にいいのかよ。
Well, you should be asking yourself that question too, just saying.
何を言ってるんだ今さら。いいも悪いもこれしか選択肢がないだろ。
絶対に少しは目に入るぞ。隠しきれるもんじゃないぞ。
別に隠すつもりなんかない。
逆に困るよ。
そんなに見たくないのか。
そうじゃないから困るって言ってんのに。
5年前とっくに全部見られてる。今さらだ。早くしろ。風呂までカレー臭くなるだろう。
じゃあやるぞ。やっちゃうぞ。
しつこい。
So, welcome back. There's a teeny bit of a not safe for work scene. Nothing crazy happened. Haruki ended up scrubbing Kazusa's hair, although she was naked in the shower. And she just reiterated that the things she said last night were true. And that's her true feelings. And it was a little... it's sad. But let's continue.
Oh.
After washing Kazusa's hair, I used up more courage and self-restraint than ever before as I washed her body. The smooth curves and sudden changes in elevation I felt through the sponge challenged my restraint a great deal, but I managed to close both my eyes and my mind and made it through without an incident.
時間と具がなかったから塩結びだけど、文句は言うに決まってるか。でも我慢しろ。
Once we got out of the bath, I had to clean up the disastrous state of the room and deal with the root behind it all. To put it more specifically, cleaning up the floor and preparing a late-night snack for Kazusa.
ちょっとバタバタするけど、それも我慢しろ。いつまでもカレーまみれの部屋にいたくないだろ。
春樹は腹空いてないのか？
ああ、なるべくなら2個くらい残しといてくれ。掃除が終わったら食べるから。
I clean up the pieces of the shattered plate, wipe the curry using a kitchen towel, and then I use a cleaning agent to try to wipe the stains away. When I turn on the ventilation fan and open the window a bit, the whole room is filled with the cold winter air. But right now, there is no choice but to bear that.
お前さ、腹減ったなら俺を呼べよ。
温めるだけだから大丈夫だと思ったんだよ。
I mean, usually I would criticize Kazusa here, but both her hands are kind of bandaged up and useless, so...
そりゃ、両手を怪我してなかったらな。
Exactly. As both the plate and the curry are quickly picked up and wiped away, the floor returns to its usual pretty state.
普段でさえ役立たずなのに、今のお前は赤ん坊といい勝負なんだから、それくらいちゃんと自覚しといてくれよな。
ひどいこと言うんだな。
夜中に叩き起こすところなんか0歳児まんまだろ。
別にわざとじゃ。
ぐだぐだ言ってないで早く食えよ。腹減ってたんだろ。
I wipe it one last time with kitchen paper and spray deodorant around the whole room, which marks the end of my temporary emergency measures. In truth, I want to pull out the vacuum cleaner too, but it's the middle of the night, so I'll have to do that tomorrow.
なんだよ。やっぱりおかずがないと食べられないっていうのか？
That does sound like something that she would say. But for now, we're gonna stop off there for today. So, thank you for joining me on this episode of Kazusa's Route in CODA, and I'll see you on the next one. Until then, hope you take care. See you!